All right, listen, it's a Super Bowl preview now, that big game with John Pollock, the X and O's and things that you need to know. Now, the 6th Street Cafeteria and Deli, Chef Ray's other establishment, the longtime establishment of that Bricker name, they've got everything for your big game party, all the salads, all the treats, and those incredible pies. So get your orders in early to have the best big game party ever. 6th Street Cafeteria and Deli, going to be doing some scrumptious things for future generations right here in downtown East Liverpool. But we continue here tonight on the road at the Chef Ray's Diamond Bar and Grill. So let's take a look at this game. Big game 58, Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback of maybe any generation. Travis Kelce, the new tight end, that flavor of being able to go deep, take the short pass, not so much as far as blocking is concerned, but he can play big, even sometimes like a wide receiver. They got this young rookie by the name of Rice who is incredibly talented to where Tyreek Hill is not being missed that much. You've got Pacheco who runs with authority, but it all comes down to Patrick Mahomes. But the question is, they're a slight favorite right now. Mountaineer Racetrack, Legal Sportsbook Bet, BetRivers.net, Legal Sportsbook Bet, The Meadows, Legal Sportsbook Bet, Washington, and Prescal. For those of you who love the Erie Shoreline, Legal Sportsbook Bet. They're a slight favorite. But when you look on the other side of the line of scrimmage, Purdy, last player taken in the 7th round, only 2 years in the league, he's more than qualified. But how can you not say that Frisco doesn't have a chance, John, when you've got Samuel, you've got Kittle, who won that game for them with his blocking ability against Detroit, and you've got Christian McCaffrey, maybe the best running back of any generation, but definitely over the last 10 years. I think Frisco has a little bit more to be excited about than I think some of the people who are placing and making the line. And we're going to talk about this on the Google Market Black and Gold Sunday show this week. I think Frisco is going to be more than a formidable opponent.
I look for really a good game. I think you've got two evenly matched teams. Kind of surprised me when you said that Kansas City was a favorite. I saw this morning I was watching ESPN. Kansas City was 2.5 point underdog.
Nice, okay.
So anyway, it'd be kind of hard betting against Mahomes. I tell you, with the numbers he's throwing up, and he just seems to come up big in big games. And I'd have a hard time going against him.
Listen, I love Andy Reid. Cal Shanahan's father, Mike, a great offensive mind like his son. And with all due respect to Andy Reid, it's kind of like Belichick and Brady. Now, it was Belichick that got Brady to the doorstep. Same thing when Alex Smith helped Patrick Mahomes get ready to take the next step. But when you are a coach and you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, listen, it doesn't take a whole lot to just get him to the game because he can that quickly take over again.
He certainly can. He's proven time and time again. And I don't watch as much football as I used to, but I like watching the good games, the big games, and that. But I was telling somebody one time, I said, it just seems like Kansas City's got away from playing football, worrying more about the commercials and the money making outside of football. And then as soon as the playoffs hit, it seems like they got another gear, and they're playing pretty well. And it's surprising because they're doing it on the defensive end. I mean, Mahomes keeps you in the game, and he makes the big plays when he has to. But their defense is really stepped up and played well.
Speaking of defense, right now the best front four in the game is the San Francisco 49ers. The guy who played at Ohio State, Chase Young, left Washington, has really helped. Warner, big deal, big player. Also, you've got Nick Bosa, who is flat out Muscle Beach Party. He is strong, he is tenacious. I think Patrick Mahomes will be challenged, but here's the thing. If Travis Kelce, and I do believe he's a team player, but I mean, he was 11 for 11 in that game in which they beat Baltimore and shocked everyone. He has to be a person who is willing to sacrifice his body because they're going to need every man to stop Nick Bosa in that front four. So Travis Kelce has got to be able to block with consistency in this game for them to have a chance.
I think you're right. But I think Kansas City was missing an offensive lineman. I think he's supposed to be healthy and ready to play in the Super Bowl. And I think you're right. I think they got to step in and they got to stop. But probably a lot of it has to do, even though Mahomes is as good as he is, and his wide receivers are starting to step up a little bit, is they got to be able to run the ball. you mentioned Pacheco. That kid runs hard, and if they can run the ball, they can win.
Tell me a little bit about the running game in the National Football League. All of a sudden, it matters. I've always thought it matters, but we've gotten away from it. The read the offense, basically throwing the ball out of the shotgun the entire time and time again, throwing on first down. Even when you're in the red zone in a 1st and 10, they just seem to throw. And all of a sudden, they're starting to run the ball. And one thing McCafferty has done, even when he was at Carolina, he's a guy that they'll go on first play, they'll go on the second play, third play, even in a 4th and 2, they'll go to this guy. How much of a difference maker is he in the running game of Frisco?
It's pretty darn good. I'll tell you what, a lot of people like to have. We were talking about the running game. How about what the Lions, stepping back? No, they would run 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. They were running draws, running sprints out and getting 12, 13 yards. And, I think that guy's kicking himself now for not kicking it a couple of times when he had the opportunity. But they talk about the guy the Steelers just hired. That's his big thing. Artie Smith is be able to run the ball. He had the kid at Tennessee, the kid from Alabama. And,
Derrick Henry.
They say that the Steelers are going to thrive on that. So there's your boy who just walked in.
My man, Digger Goff.
Dawson.
All right, go ahead.
So anyway, but a lot of times the run the ball is to be able to control the clock, keep the other team away from it. And I think to be successful, you got to have a good running game.
You got to have a great running game. Don't forget, Legal Sportsbook Bet, Mountaineer, Racetrack Casino, Gaming Resort, Rivers Casino on the North Shore of the Landing Hotel. They got the Grand Hotel over in West Virginia. You got the Meadows in Washington, Pennsylvania, Washington County, and up there in the beautiful shores of Lake Erie, Presque. We're going to break it all down, Ted Arnaud, Greg Diolis, and me. And that line's going to float back and forth all week. So make sure you stay plugged in. And we're going to get you ready with the X and O's. And then next Sunday, we'll pick our winners against the spread. And remember, it's the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show each and every week after local news at 11 on KEKA 100.1 FM AM 1020. And get that Odyssey app for your smartphone. Download it, it's free. So wherever you go, you can take me along for the ride. And from Chef Ray's Diamond Bar and Grill, here in Potter Country, it's your Pratte Pack with the coach, John Babalik. Good night, everybody.
I thought that was Belinda. I ain't seen it for a while.
It is.